Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of our Amicalola and Dahlonega adventure. And like in the last episode, I said that part 2 will be about Dahlonega. And yep, here we go. This is about Dahlonega. So I hope you enjoy. And yeah, let's go into it. Chick-fil-A line.
Nice.
Like always. But look at this mountain view. It's the mountain view.
Something ain't right about Chick-fil-A. I'm starting to get suspicious.
Turn right onto Consolidated Gold Mine Road, then turn right to stay on
Consolidated Gold Mine Road.
This is like Walmart Avenue.
That says Walmart Way. Oh, that makes no sense.
Take the next right to stay on Consolidated Gold Mine Road.
But Walmart took over.
Oh my gosh. Stupid Walmart. It's always a Walmart everywhere. It's like Cody, Wyoming. Alright guys, we're over here at the Consolidated Gold Mine. So cool. Alright. Parking lot. We got the gold mine over there. All these people. So, this is cool so far. Amethyst, geodes. What else we got? Smooth rocks. Wow. Pretty cool. Not too shabby. Come on, Joe. Let's go in here. That's cool.
This is the end of the tour, right?
Yep.
Oh.
No. Okay, there is going to be a test at the end of the tour, but it is not going to be about history. Okay? It's actually going to be your painting skills. Now, that said, we're going to be going through this door right here. Please hold the door for the person behind you because it does like to swing back at people in the face. We don't like people doing that unless you really don't like the person behind you. All right?
Okay.
That's right, guys.
Interesting.
Oh, no, you can definitely take video.
Oh, okay.
It's $50 a video.
Oh,
$25.
Lord.
Just kidding. Alright guys, before we go any further, I do have to give you a little heads up. It does get damp down in the line, so we do ask that you go ahead and use the handrails when they're available. If the handrails aren't available, you can always use the walls. If you still slip and fall, make sure you grab the legs of the person behind you because it's a horrible thing to fall by yourself. That said, welcome to the Consolidated Gold Mine. We were consolidated back in 1898, ran all the way to 1906. That's 8 beautiful, wonderful years of gold mining. At which point in time, we ran out of money and had to file for bankruptcy. Now folks, that's not because we ran out of gold, it's because we were spending more money than we were pulling out of the ground trying to impress investors. Now, that said, we ready to start heading down into the mine?
Yep.
Alright, let's go guys. Oh, last word warning, in this tunnel particularly, if you're using the walls and you feel something slimy under your hands, chances are it's just a salamander. They don't bite you unless you bite them first. It's actually not that slippery. No, it really is. Man, come on. I'm walking backwards. Okay? Just in case. I can catch you.
We're rolling down. This is so cool.
Wow. Oh look, the stalactites.
Stalactites?
Yeah, above us.
We will be seeing stalactites and stalagmites. But that's closer to the end of the tour.
That's cool.
Alright guys, everybody come on down. There's plenty of room.
I don't want to spoil the tour, so I'm only going to be sharing bits and pieces of the tour.
Or at least not without permission, right? Come on down, guys. I'm not that scary.
Yeah, you're
There's plenty of room.
Sorry, I just didn't want to kick nobody.
Fine, you're fine. We're just trying to get everybody down here so that they can see this giant hole in the ground. All right, guys, this is our first stop, and it may look like a cavern. Trust me, it is not. As far as I know, there's no natural caverns in northern Georgia. In fact, back in 1898, this was a solid wall of white quartz known as the Knight's Vein. It was, and I believe still is, considered to be the largest single vein of quartz ever found at 22.5 feet across. Now, that said, there are three primary ways of acquiring gold other than buying it and or stealing it. We kind of frown on that stealing part. Those three methods are, first and foremost, panning, which you all will be doing at the end of this tour. Basically what you're doing is looking for what's called an alluvial pan, which is where the gold is broken out of the quartz by weathering. It rolls down the hills into the creeks and rivers down below. We go ahead and get that dirt, pan it out, get our gold. Method number two is called hydraulic mining, basically taking a giant water cannon, blasting the side of a mountain until it's a pile of rubble, running the dirt through a sluice box, getting our gold that way. Now fortunately, back in 1843, they decided that was just a bit too destructive and they banned that method, but it does bring us to where we are right now, which is hard rock mining, tunneling through the ground looking for white quartz rock. Now guys, in this mine there are two named rocks. I'm going to point them out as we get to them. There's actually a third rock that I'm trying to get named, but they haven't agreed with me yet. But that first rock is going to be that one right there, folks. That is called the colorful rock because of the colorful language people have used when they hit their heads on it. Now guys, our next stop is this right here. I like to point out that white vein quartz right there. Matter of fact, if you look very carefully, you might even see some gold still in there. Guys, there is still quite a bit of gold inside that vein. How much gold? I'm not exactly sure. I am not an assayer. An assayer's job is to figure out how much gold is in the material. My job title is tour guide, which means I get to show you guys around down here. Now guys, we have come to the second named rock, and it's this one right here. You notice it's right at head level. Folks, this right here is the wishing stone. If you hit your head on it, you're going to wish you hadn't. All right? So, we're going to go a little further down, and then things are going to flatten out quite a bit for us. It's going to be a lot easier walking. All right?
Whoa. It's raining. Gotta put on my hood. Oh, look at this little waterfall. Pretty cool.
Right there. Folks, that right there is the largest man-made waterfall under the city of Dahlonega. Now, there may be large man-made waterfalls under other cities that I really don't know, but under Dahlonega, that there is number one. That said, what I actually want to talk to you guys about is on this other side. Alright, just like there were three methods of acquiring our gold, there were three methods of drilling that we used in this mine. The first and most basic was this right here. You all know what this is called, right? This is a hammer. This right here, may look like a chisel, but it is not a chisel, it's actually a hand still. And if you look at the front end of it, you're going to notice there's little notches in there. Those notches were to allow the dirt and dust to come out as we're drilling. Now folks, it can be used as a one-man operation, at which point in time it's called single jacking, but most of the time, about 90% of the time, it goes done as a two-man team or double jacking. Now I'm here by myself, so I need somebody to volunteer to help me out. Alright? You're doing it. Alright, what is your name?
Clara.
Clara, I'm going to put this inside there. You're going to hold on to that with one hand. You're going to make sure that it doesn't move. I'm going to be hitting it with the hammer. Alright, now when I hit it, you're going to turn it just a little bit so the dirt and dust can come out. Now guys, the person with the hammer was usually referred to as the striker. The person with the hand still was usually referred to as the new guy.
Yeah.
I have not hit anyone in at least a week. Alright? But I did take a week vacation. You should be fine. You should be fine. Alright, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Turn it. Keep turning it. if you were working a little bit too hard, you know, you show off to the boss, or if you forgot to turn the hand still, you would run into a problem. That problem is called friction. We all know friction. Friction causes heat. Heat causes metal to do some strange things sometimes, including fuse to the rock. Now folks, that hand still right there would have cost that miner 90 cents. That is a full day's pay. That is what we call a bad day. Now folks, there were some miners that thought they could get around that problem. They take a second hand still drill right next to the first one. That makes a lot of sense, right? Get that first hand still out, right? Well folks, if that was a bad day, that right there was what we called a really bad day. Because that miner had to come into work the next day and work for free. Now, that said, we're going to head down this little side hill right here. We had something called child labor. What's the matter, young man? Now, guys, do we have anyone between the ages of 8 and 12?
This guy right there.
All right, young man, come on up here. Come on
Please
up.
no.
What is your name?
Jackson.
Jackson. All right, Jackson. I'm going to have you hold on to this with both hands. All right, what you're going to do is you're going to push that up to my arm. Then you're going to let it go back down on its own. You don't have to let go, because you're going to push it back up again. Back down, and back up, and back down, and back up, and back down. Keep going, and we'll come back to Jackson at the end of the tour.
Hey!
Hey, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Round of applause for Jackson. All right, now Jackson's parents would have left him working down here for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, Jackson would have been making 25 cents per day. That means in 4 years' time, Jackson can buy his own house. And mom and dad can kick him to the curb. He's got his own place to go to. Reason number 2, God forbid there was an accident down here at cave-in, we'd know exactly where he was and we could save his life. But the real reason was reason number 3. Reason number 3 was that at the end of the day, 12 hours of pumping on that pump, Jackson would come home, eat supper, and go straight to bed. Folks, right here, you are in an inactive gold mine with an active gold mine directly above you. Folks, that active gold mine happens to be one of the largest gold mines in the world. You may have even heard of it. It's called Walmart. Yes, folks, we are currently standing directly under the garden center of Walmart. 3 candles per shift. Each candle would last on average 1 to 2 hours, meaning that we would have a maximum of 6 hours of light per shift. Per person. Guys, you remember the double jacking that I said we did 90% of the time? That was so that we'd have 2 people's candles, because it was a 12-hour shift. All right, lights going up in 3, 2, 1. Go. All right. Lots of light, right? Now folks, this right here is how we were looking for that beautiful white quartz rock. And by the way, those Edison lamps, they were only about that bright. They did not help a whole heck of a lot. Now, there's one other very important thing we did with this candle. We lit the fuse. But before we lit the fuse, we had to shout 4 words. Does anyone know what those 4 words were?
Fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole, that's right. Now folks, you happen to be 200 feet underground, 20 stories underground in a gold mine. How many opportunities are you going to have like that to shout fire in the hole? I'm going to do it at the count of 3. Those that want to do it with me, I mean, come on, this is a bucket list moment, guys. Those that want to do it with me are more than welcome to. Matter of fact, I beg you, I implore you, please shout fire in the hole with me. It gets boring to do it by myself. All right, so in 3, 2, 1, fire in the hole! God, I love that echo. All right, guys, so we shouted fire in the hole. We shouted fire in the hole. We light the fuse. What do you think we do next? Run. Sounds like an awful idea. God, I should have found that light switch first. It's here somewhere. There we go. All right, guys, I just lit an imaginary fuse. We gotta get out of here now. No, if you want to stand over here, you're fine. Alright guys, I am gonna go ahead and turn it on. It does get a bit loud, so if you have sensitive hearing, you might wanna cover your ears. If you do cover your ears though, I do highly recommend, as soon as I turn this off, and you'll actually be able to see me turning it off, and you'll see that there's no more air coming through here. As soon as I turn it off, uncover your ears as quickly as you can, because you're gonna hear something really neat. Alright? So, in 3, 2, 1. Was that cool or what?
Yeah.
Alright. That is the reason that this is the favorite spot for most of the tour guides. Now, that said, with just about every advancement, there's almost always a drawback. Am I right? Does anyone know what the drawback was to this?
The ground shakes.
What?
The ground shakes, right?
What?
You can't hear me.
What? Yes, that's right. You go deaf. Now, guys, I just ran that at 25 psi. Back then, we would have been running it somewhere between 150 and 200 psi, which means it would have been 6 to 8 times louder. In fact, we were using 6 drills at that rate in a room this size. We like to ascend up into 2 different parts. The first part we like to call the warm-up. Actually going to save the name of the second part till later. I don't want to scare you guys too much. But on this part, we do have some stalagmites and stalactites on the left-hand side. We do ask that you please do not touch them with your fingers, because the oils from our fingers can actually stop them from ever growing again. Oh. That would be a horrible thing. That said, they do look an awful lot like vanilla ice cream cones. Guys, they don't taste like vanilla ice cream cones. Trust me, I know this to be a fact. I'm not gonna say how I know it, but I do. All right. So, we ready to go ahead and start heading up? Yeah. All right. Let's go, guys.
Let's go up. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, in the Ruby Falls, people were touching them, so they look this way.
No.
Yeah, there's the tinies and lights. Small ones. Over the incline.
After that, we're going to tread in those silver tokens that we have with hands folded. All right? So just go ahead and keep following me. Please hold the door for the person behind you. And we'd like to
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool little cave. Oh. Joy. I gotta tie my boot.
Nita, you ready to be a miner?
We got Joy. Alright, let's do this. We're gonna do that. Alright. Wow, that Consolidated Gold Mine was actually pretty long. But anyways, let's go to Dahlonega now. We're here in kind of like downtown Dahlonega. Pretty cool. Downtown Dahlonega. Oh look, there's a historic little sign down there, but we can come back after we eat. Wow, cool little town. It's at the little city hall. I think so. this. Alright, left this little jerky shop. Now let's go to the restaurant. Try it. Oh, alright. Right here. That restaurant was too packed, so we decided to check out other things around the area. Chocolate Santa. Oh yeah, I saw a guy eating that over there. The almond bark.
With peanut butter
Sure, but I smell like some brownies or something.
Yeah.
I might want some. Interesting little store here. That is it for our Dahlonega and Amicalola Falls adventure. If you liked the video, please leave a like and also subscribe and leave a comment down below. I'll try to reply. And yeah, we ended up eating in Alpharetta somewhere. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye.